Thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Leadership Lounge Live are for entertainment and informational purposes only. They do not reflect the official policies, beliefs, or positions of any individuals, organizations, or platforms mentioned. Viewer discretion is advised, and we encourage independent research and critical thinking. Enjoy the conversation and engage responsibly.
All right, and welcome back. Guess who's back? Leadership Live.
Hey, we lost Lewis's audio.
You lost me? Hello, mic check, 1, 2.
We found you.
There we go. Okay.
We found you.
All right. Let's do this again. Welcome back. Happy Sunday. I am your host here at Leadership Lounge Live. My name is Lewis Marshall. I'm the airbrush and AI artist here at Marshall Artistry. I'm here with my co-host Adama and Uriah. What's good, you guys?
What's up? Happy Sunday.
Hello. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. And we have a very special guest in the house that's going to be talking about a few things today. Our guest joining us for our conversation today has worked as a corporate transactional attorney and a litigator, and he's now been involved in several startup companies and is currently working in research and quantitative strategies under his own portfolio. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. James Wooten.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Thank you for being here with us, James. We appreciate you.
I like that. I like that applause. That made me feel special right there.
I love it.
Hey,
No,
for
real.
That resume, it speaks volumes though. Like, it's rare you hear those credentials next to a black man. So it's like, hey, that just sounds so solid.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's facts. James, you've had a pretty interesting career based on what I went back and read and then reread this morning. It's been anything but linear. Can you talk about a moment maybe back in the mid part of this AI portion of your career and talk about what made you pivot to where you currently are from law?
Yeah, so it really goes back a long ways, like long before the AI kind of became a household phenomenon. I guess I could take it all the way back to college. As my bio says, I graduated from Morehouse with a degree in business, but I actually did kind of a half and half college degree, where I spent the first half of my college career at the University of Illinois, and I was a computer science major there. And so that's really what sparked my interest in programming and kind of, where technology has been going. And yeah, while I did switch majors, I spent 2.5 years in the computer science major. So I did have a good base of understanding of a lot of the technology that was going on at that time and programming in general. And so fast forward, I did switch to business. I did go to law school. I practiced, corporate transactional law, and then moved out to California, and I was a litigator out there. But I always kind of knew, even practicing corporate law, I kind of knew that I wanted to be on the investment side. I mean, I was doing a lot of the documentation for investors, but I knew I wanted to do kind of what they were doing and not just, drafting up the paperwork. And so I ended up going back to business school, and that's where the transition happened. And one of the key moments in business school was applying for a fellowship. I received a fellowship where we had an opportunity to manage a portion of the school's money using some implementing academic research into quantitative portfolios and going through academic research and papers and trying to implement those strategies in live portfolios. And so that was kind of the introduction of the marriage between programming, technology, and investments. And so that's where that all really kind of took form.
Mm,
So
that's interesting.
from early on, you've been pretty much on the technology side along with business, given that you started with the computer science major.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's
what are you
interesting.
saying?
No, go ahead. I was just saying out loud, that's interesting. Just listening to the career path just in college, having that early exposure. And we often talk about how late we've gotten into some of these areas, but to hear from a lot of the other professionals that we've had on the show, they're starting very early. And
Oh,
it sounds like James even majored, for a period of time. So having that
well,
baseline is really interesting.
it was actually before that. I mean, my high school, I had two two different programming classes in my high school, and so I came into college knowing how to code at least in one language, and then the college just kind of accelerated that. So it was even before college that I got started. But nowadays people are getting started at code camps for young children. So
Yeah, we had a
it's
gentleman
definitely
on.
moving
We
fast.
had Victor on a few episodes ago, and he does
Victor.
Victor from Saint Ignatius, Lantier's
Oh,
brother.
Hicks.
Yeah, Victor Hicks.
Oh, cool.
Yep, he does coding for the culture for small kids. So he teaches coding for kids. I
Hmm.
mean, pretty much all ages.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
it's
I've
it's it's
actually.
crazy the rate that people are learning at such a young age. I talked to a guy who is currently, I think now he's a junior. When I talked to him, he was a freshman, and some of the stuff that he was learning in high school was stuff that I didn't learn until college.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean
No, I
everything
believe it.
is quicker now. And think about now with the pandemic, my kids know how to handle Zoom calls, right? I know adults that can't do that.
I don't even know how to. Yeah.
Yeah, it became critical in society to learn how to use these tools. So, no career journey is going to be without challenges. Can you share a moment in your career, whether it's law, business, or investing, where a major setback became an unexpected breakthrough for you?
Yeah, I mean, unexpected setback. Yeah, I would say, I ended up getting laid off during the recession. I was laid off in '08, and then I moved to California the next year, and so I was just kind of out there, um, looking for jobs, looking for opportunities. The corporate transactional market had really dried up. I took a job in litigation, and that really was the push that I needed to apply to business school. And so, I mean, I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but it wasn't until I practiced a little bit more law to really solidify that I wanted to do something else. And so that, it was, you look at it as it was something that was negative, but really it was the push that I needed to get to where I am today.
Nice. Yeah, I know that's sometimes a big challenge when you get laid off. I used to work in the trades and I grew up where my dad was working in the trades. And so I understood that there were bits of time where you would work for 9 months out of the year, knowing you would be laid off for a period of time. So being able to have something else to kind of bounce back to is key.
Hmm. And it gives you time to think and to really drill down what it is you're looking for, what it is you want, what you're good at. It really makes you do a reflection and a self-assessment to understand what your next move is, instead of just, jumping and taking something and kind of, this is okay, and getting stuck in a rut where you're just doing something because you can and not because you really enjoy it, or
Mhm.
it's something that you're really set up to succeed in.
And
I know we
passionate.
use
Absolutely.
I know we use a lot of AI now, but think about if we had AI then. How would you have used AI to help you go to that next transition if it was available how it is now during that time?
The way I use AI now, I use a lot of ChatGPT mainly, and it's as a sanity check. I do a lot of conversation and checking my ideas against somebody that's, or not somebody, but a machine that has knowledge in a variety of different areas. So I can always say, hey, give me the pros and cons of this idea that I have, or help me to understand the subject at a very granular level that I don't fully understand. Because a lot of the to answer your question, the way I would have used it then was to really solidify my knowledge in a variety of areas. It's almost like having the teacher with you 24/7. And so a lot of times you would, because of the time constraints, you would just kind of do enough to get by, or get to the next level. But in terms of really drilling down and understanding things, it's a resource that would have been available at all times. And so that's the way I think I would have used it to kind of enhance my knowledge and enhance my skill set back then if I could have.
Do
Alma,
you
you
see?
quiet over there.
Oh, someone.
No, come on. I was just gonna say you quiet over there.
Oh no, because I was watching you all take your turn. I was like, oh, okay, I'll wait. I was ready to jump on the mic real quick. Okay, but
Come on.
anyway, so with what you're doing, how do you see AI affecting? I don't even want to say something like the next 5 years, because I mean it's changing every day. How
Right.
do you see it affecting within the next 6 months to a year? I mean, because now people just think they can just, and I'm guilty of it. Like I can just go to chat and I can ask it, but people don't realize chat's not always 100% accurate, and people are also worried about their standing with their job and things of that nature when it comes to AI. How do you see that affecting um, the area of your expertise? Of like, how do you feel that will affect? You
Uh,
know,
I think it's been around long enough, I guess, in the investment management space that it not everybody is going to adopt it right away. There are ways.
mhm,
It's not going to be a thing, I think, where everybody's following the same script.
mhm,
So there are ways to incorporate AI into the investment management process that isn't necessarily just computers take over. You're still going to have human decision making in terms of what you value as inputs, uh, time frames, risk tolerance. I mean, there's just a bunch of different variables that each manager has and each client has, and it's so diversified that I don't think that there's a one size fits all, that AI is just going to replace everybody. Now, AI is, and really I'm speaking about the large language models, because there are a bunch of different ways that machine learning techniques and other different aspects of AI are incorporated. But um, I think over the next few months, it's still in the early stages of adoption. People aren't really sure how they're going to use it. They just know that they should be using it. And,
mhm.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Not all industries and all places have to benefit or have to use it in a way, but that's kind of the narrative that's being pushed around now. And so I think a lot of people are scrambling to get on board. It's very similar to the .com era, where everybody wanted to put .com on something. Uh, I think it's gonna take a few years to really sift out the impact that this can have. And so while it's in its early stages, I think there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of scrambling. But to give a frank assessment, I have no clue where this is heading. I mean, it really is.
It's kind of
That-
scary a little bit, though,
Yeah.
y'all. It's kind of scary a little bit when it comes to finances. You know, like it's different when we're creating and things like that. But when it comes to finances, I was just wondering, like, how are they prepping people? Like, because now everybody thinks, oh, I can just get an app. I kind of smirk at that. Or, that's just like taken away from books. You see what I'm saying? So I just wondered in that part. That's why I'm glad that you're on today, because even with you speaking about that, in my mind as you're speaking, I'm thinking like, you still need to dig into the gut of it, into the cracks of it. You shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm going to go on my phone or I'm going to go on my laptop or I'm going to deal with a robo advisor. No, I need to deal with Tom, who's behind that, or you know what? I need to deal with James.
even a robo advisor. I mean, you still have to give it some parameters. You still have to say, hey,
Right.
look, this is my level of risk tolerance, or
Mhm.
this is the amount of money I have. It's not much of this is one size fits all, and so it's kind of, you're right. I know we had this discussion before where it's kind of like the calculator. It's not going to make you a mathematical genius. It's just a tool that you can use
Mhm.
if you know how to use it.
You guys remember that I'm pretty seasoned in life, okay? So I'm gonna say I'm seasoned, okay? So do you guys remember? Oh my goodness, it used to be like a little robot thing. You used to hold it, and it was like tech. Oh my goodness, it would help you with spelling. I was a spelling bee phenomenon, y'all. Anyway, I can't remember what it was called. It was like, it looks like a.
Leapfrog.
Okay, go backwards. Keep going back a little bit more. It was like,
Farther than that.
what?
Mm.
Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. It was like textile something. Anyway, it doesn't really matter at that point. And they were pushing computers onto everybody. And my family was pushing it onto me. They were like, it's gonna help you spell. But at the end of the day, my parents were like, why are you looking at the dictionary? Just go to your computer. And I'm like, because the dictionary has everything in there. What are you talking about? But it helped me with sound and everything. So I put that in comparison to what you're saying now. Like, there has to be parameters. There has to be some kind of concrete part to it, just not all AI, not all technical. Anyway, that's all I had to say on that part.
Yeah, what I've learned from using specifically chat is that I tend not to do well when I don't know the answer already. Like, if I ask it to give me something, I need to have a good idea of what the answer should be. And it's more for a channel checker, like a verification, because if I were to blindly follow something that it gave me, it would be a nightmare. Like,
Oh, I love that.
It's not at that
awesome.
level yet.
I love that you
And
said that.
so, because you have to drill down, you really have to ask it more questions once it gives you an answer, and make sure that it's giving you what you've asked. A lot of this is in the question. It's not so much that it can spit out anything. You really have to train yourself in how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's a language.
It's also and
I hope everybody got some food from that answer right there. Okay. I hope everybody who's watching, or you go back, got some food from that. I wish I could press a rewind button. Like, what he said.
rewind.
Yeah. It's important. At least have some type of knowledge about it. And if you don't, then fact check it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
and
even for non-work things that I use it for, like I use it a lot for subjects that I'm unfamiliar with. Like, and I think
Mm-hmm.
where we are kind of in society where there's a lot of mistrust of experts in fields, I think it can do a great job of helping you have a more informed conversation with your expert. Like, for doctors, for instance, I'm not going to become a doctor because I have ChatGPT, but I am going to be able to ask my doctor better questions to help him help me or her help me solve any issues that I'm having, or take a more proactive approach to my health. So it's one of those things where I think it can help you to better leverage professionals in your life. And I would say the same for your money managers or lawyers. If you've got a legal issue, then throw it to ChatGPT before you speak with your attorney. And that way you can be part of the process and better understand the decisions that are before you.
Right, you come to the
I
table with
completely
a level set of knowledge. I'd be really interested. Like I've known James a while, and early on, just when Google searching was still kind of new, we're still learning it. I think James is the best Google searcher I know, and that sounds crazy now because Google can pretty much do whatever you want when you could just ask it a question and it'll spit something out. But we're old in the internet age, right? I remember when you had to almost have to code a search. And I was like, I remember searching for something and James already have it. I'm like, hold on. How can you do it? But James knew how to speak to Google search. So I'd be really interested to know how some of your prompts for chat to get some of the information you want out of it that may not be as common knowledge to the average user.
So what I think about that, it might be the legal side and it might be the programming side, or a combination of both, where you have to be really specific with your word choice and language. And I know, practicing law, it's something where you tend to be, not everybody is, but you tend to be very specific about the words you choose. And so it's the same way when you're given a prompt. You really need to understand specifically what you're asking, and not kind of the way you would speak in a normal conversation. Because if you start speaking the way we just normally talk, it's not going to be able to connect. The words you're using have a specific meaning. And so if you're not, I speak to it like I speak programming something, where it's like, I know that it's only the computer's only doing what I tell it to do. So if it gives me something wrong, it's because I asked it in the wrong way. And that's the mindset that I have to take when I'm creating prompts.
Can you say that again? Can you say
I
that
said,
again?
I said if it gives me something wrong, it's because I didn't phrase my prompt in the correct way. It's only going to do what you tell it to do. Like when you're programming something, if you've got errors, it's because you made an error. It's not because the computer did something that you didn't tell it to do. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's because you didn't ask it in the right way. And so I think about that the same way with ChatGPT. When it gives me something incorrect, now, granted, sometimes it just gives me something wrong. So I'm not going to act like every time it's your fault. But a lot of times, if you learn from those mistakes, when it gives you an incorrect answer, it'll teach you to prompt better.
Yeah, that's
Just to
interesting.
piggyback on that, like when you said, because we're training it to be like us. We want it to be a language. We want it to be more human, right? So the reason chat get even if it doesn't know it, it's like I got to give the person something. So it'll give you even the wrong answer without even realizing, because that's what we programmed it to do. So even it's still on us, the reason why it's giving us the wrong answer, or the quote unquote wrong answer.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I'll give it some multiple requests within one. Like, no, I've learned to write out lists. If I wanted to do multiple things, I need to write it in a list. So after giving you these details, I need you to A, write this out, B, put it in the outline, C, give me a summary. Like whatever I'm asking it to do in multiple steps, I need to break that out so that it knows the responses I'm expecting has 4 different, subcomponents.
I was waiting on you, Lewis.
Oh, that was it.
I lost it. I lost him. Sorry, I lost him. I could hear him, and then he cut out.
Oh
I was
man.
just gonna say, the other thing that I hear you reiterating in very different ways is that human oversight is critical and it's crucial, and it's a critical part of the process of us inputting it a certain way, and maybe not necessarily in a conversation, but something that I say with regard to how I create my images. It's more of a command versus a conversation back and forth. And the piece that I relate that to is when you say the words are very specific so that you get a very specific type of output from ChatGPT. And that's, in my brain, what I hear you saying is, hey, I also need to fact check whatever the output is. And that also is the human oversight. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I'm not sure exactly how you guys are using it, and so the purpose that you're using it for can have different. You'll have different prompts, and you'll speak to it a different way depending on the output you're looking for. If I'm looking for it to do something specific, I need to have a specific command. But if I'm looking to engage in more of a conversational flow to tease out little nuances of things that I'm saying, if I am trying to understand the subject. And so I'll rephrase it in my own words and ask, is that an accurate summary, or is there a detail that I'm missing? That's more of a conversational flow where I can ask more open-ended questions instead of just drilling down, hey, I need you to do this. But it all depends on what your use case is.
Okay, so I have a follow-up.
Sure.
It's a little more specific though. So I know that with regard to training a chat from a financial and investing perspective, you need specific data sets. Where are some places that a person might gather those things if they were just starting out and they're just hearing this conversation today? Okay, so I might want to use one of my chats in this specific way related to finance. Can you talk about some of the resources that a new person might go look and or pair their chat GPT up with researching?
Sure. So there are a lot of free and kind of relatively inexpensive financial resources. I mean, Yahoo Finance is a big one. I believe Koyfin still has Koyfin still has a pretty good financial database that you can access. There's Trading Economics, which has a fairly decent set of economic data. There's the official data sources like the St. Louis Fed, um, the the Bureau of Labor Statistics, or just the Fed's website in general. If you're looking for data that you'd like to use, I don't believe that the chats have any up to date data, and if they do, they're gathering it. My guess is from one of the more official sources. You can still look at SEC filings. If you're trying to get information, especially if you're starting out, I tend to recommend going to original sources. Like, you kind of want to understand what the original source looks like, and then you can move on to aggregators because you've got a handle on the flow of information from the original source to the source you're now using. And
No, that totally.
I'm sorry, say that again?
No, I just was saying that totally makes sense. Please continue. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. So, and I think that's part of what is being lost a lot in the fast-paced world that we're in now, where we're losing sight of a lot of primary original sources, and we're taking summaries from other people who are taking summaries from other people, and that's just not. Each summary that you get tends to add a little bit more bias into it, and that's where we end up losing a lot of the original material.
Blind leading the blind, right?
Yeah.
AI sourcing AI. They said that's why a lot of the AI is degenerating, because I think a lot of people are saying like ChatGPT is almost getting worse.
hmm
And the thing is like
Oh yeah.
all of the engines are citing other sources that are also AI, and it's not, because it's not like it can differentiate the two. And
hmm
also very similar with like the AI images, which what we do, Lewis and Adama and I, like how we met was doing AI images. They were saying in a couple of years there'll be more AI images on the internet than actual images. And if we know how these models are working to even create the images, they were sourcing actual images. So that means our images are probably going to start getting worse, because it's going to start sourcing its own, you know, carbon copy of an actual image.
hmm Yeah. Now, is there? I don't deal with images much at all, or if at all. But are you all? I want to. How are you all identifying, or yeah, identifying AI images versus real images? Is it fairly easy to spot?
For
Yes.
us,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, for us, I feel. I mean, because we're a
Yes.
little more seasoned in it. Like I love to look at people's artwork, and then I'm just like, okay, this is not real. It's got like six fingers, or it's missing half his arm or foot. And you know what? One of the things AI is not really, it's gotten better at as it's updating and things of that nature, as it's upgrading, is that
Mhm.
it's finally able to put the heel on high heel shoes.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that
Yeah,
the truth?
it's just now learning. It's just now learning that. And if you've been in it as long as we have, we know how to manipulate the prompt to give us the heel. But now it's learning like, oh well, if you put a woman there, maybe they want heels. Or if you put eccentric, or if you put what is the word that you always use, core, or things like that, or queen core, like Lewis has been doing lately. Oh, a queen wants a heel. Like AI's thinking, I'm going to put a heel on her. Whereas before we had to put full body, standing, heel, da da da, da da da. Those are some of the things that you can do, you can spot. Because I love it when I see an image and heel, because I'm a shoe girl. I look straight for the heels, and I look at the shoe and I'm like, come on now, that heel, what? Why is it standing like that? But that's one of the things that you can tell when you can spot. And the eyes, truth is
I
always in the
mean,
eye.
for me, yo, look at the edges.
I'm mad
Yo, go look at
the
the
edges.
go look at the edges on because there's more images of women than there are of men, just naturally of all these AI images. So with the women, and especially women of color, it's really hard for the AI to get the hair texture right, specifically at that,
Mhm.
at the hairline. So if you look at that and the face texture, like, hey, do they have pores? Do they have
Mhm.
random flyaway hairs? Do they have those little things that in real life, when you're sitting next to a person, you notice? If I don't see
Mhm.
any of those things, yeah, it's probably fake.
Yeah, and from my
So that
perspective, it's more like looking at the angles, because sometimes it doesn't get the proportions or the perspectives correct.
Mhm.
So the picture of the person or the subject, it'll be like Dutch angle or like looking up, but then if you look at some of the surrounding items, it's straightforward. So
Mhm.
I can see it
Ah,
because
okay.
that's my photography eye. So I'm always looking at like the surrounding areas, and also like even if the person looks perfect, look at the background characters
Mm-hmm.
and like zoom in on their face. They're probably going to be like all distorted. That's how you can kind of tell an AI
And then
image.
My thing's
what
been
about
shadowing the shadows, y'all. I look for the
Yeah.
shadows.
Mhm.
what about like hybrid approaches where you're taking, because I know you're right, you do you've done photography, so if you take a picture and then enhance that picture, is that something that you all work with?
Yeah.
And if so, do you think it
Yeah.
provides that added kind of an added benefit? I mean, I don't want to say it's the same as like filters, but like it's cleaning
It
up your
is.
pictures
It feels
in a
like
different
me.
way.
No, that's
Mhm.
that. We had a whole session about that. Like,
Yeah, it
how
is.
do you
Uh,
how do you make the picture better? Like, you get an AI
Mhm.
image and you can see the some of the flaws, but you run it through an enhancer, then you could kind of erase a lot of those flaws or at least hide them a lot. It's funny
Mhm.
because I'm dealing with, like, personally, I don't usually use like the AI images at work. However, now in the fraud space, I work at a bank and the FBI came to visit. And guess what? One of the topics were that they shared with us of like how people are like stealing identities is with AI art. And all the steps that we give to make our artwork better, you
mhm.
know, the fraudsters are using that same the same steps to make it look better to commit fraud. So I'm looking at it from like both perspectives. And like what you just said is exactly how I'm just hearing it from two because when you say it, it's more of a professional side. I feel like I'm at work, and it's like, oh, people are doing this to commit fraud. However, when we talk about it, we're doing it to actually enhance the artwork. You know,
Mhm.
like, we made an AI image, but we want to edit it so it doesn't look like an AI image. Like, how do you make your piece of art that you generated look the best that it can be?
Mhm.
Yeah. And even to
So
go a step
And the
further and
best being the
piggyback on that.
realist, right? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say to piggyback on what Uriah's saying. So now I'll speak for me. I just started animating maybe 6 months ago. And so now taking those realistic photos and now animating them to where they look like a real person walking, talking, moving around, flipping their hair, all that kind of stuff. That enhances it a whole another step beyond just a still static image. So it's even harder to tell now that something is AI and or fake. But me personally, I'm not using it with the intent to fraud. I use it to market, honestly. And I know a lot of people do it from that perspective. So
Mhm.
actually, yeah, pretty soon it's going to be really, really difficult to tell the
Mhm.
difference. And so, like, class on how to tell AI from an actual real person is going to be a needed skill for everybody globally, universally.
Yeah.
and it's strange because I don't know how much people are going to actually learn it because there was tips on like how to identify like a Photoshop image because that was the first layer of like AI
Mhm.
enhancing an image where versus creating it from nothing. So and people never really learn that either. People are, oh, that's Photoshop, and people get fooled by Photoshop all the time. So
Mhm.
like I see AI videos going out all the time that people have no idea are AI videos because you could just tell from the comments. People think it's actually real. I remember one of my friends posted something getting a lot of engagement, and I hit him offline and want to call him out on the page, but I was like, bro, that's not a real image. That's an AI image. He was like, no, it's not. That's real. You just don't know. And I'm like, no, look at that. Look at the proportions. Look at the toes. Like, that's not a real image. And he's like, and he's fighting with me. And I'm like, oh man. And this is from my perspective, an intelligent person, and he's taking it and thinking that it's real. So like we said at the beginning, I don't know where we're going with this because it's going to be so much fake stuff out there that's being accepted as real that
Yeah.
even if you call it fake, think about it, you might be, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. So it's
Right.
about to take this whole like
With that,
sh- Go ahead.
That's exactly why I went through the point about primary sources and being able to do research, because everybody just, like, so many people want instant answers and instead of understanding processes. And if you don't understand, it's like you said with the Photoshop, like if you don't understand that process and you just want an answer, a lot of times the AI driven images and the content, not even images, where people are putting out fake news articles or fake posts about, one thing or another, it often stems from stuff that you'd want to believe happened anyway. And so that, with the proof of an article or the proof of an image, it makes it that much more ingrained that what you already believed is true. But
I mean, but
Yeah,
like
we-
you said,
yes,
we're gonna have a tough time.
now you can just actually even take someone's photo and you can animate it. I mean, that's just, I mean, that's it's kind of weird, but you can do it. And I've done it because in the line of work that I had to do for a project, we needed, the studio needed to have more content. There was no way to get more content at that time. So I took the image and made it seem like they were already in the studio. So I made it seem like they were doing more in the studio because I took more clips. I mean, and you couldn't tell. Well, when they first did it, I could tell. Then I went in and maneuvered the prompt, and then got the animation to go the way I needed to go. But it's bananas because you can take a lot of different apps, merge them together, and you can get peanut butter and jelly.
Is it at the stage
Right.
yet where you could make a full-length feature movie?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it takes some work. Like the pros
Yeah.
I think they have a model where I'm not sure where it's at on a commercial consumer level. A single prop can generate like probably up to 20 seconds. That's the most I've seen at the consumer level. So you'll have to string 20-second clips together to get the movie, but you could get a lot done on just the consumer level. I assume the pro level, if you got the right machinery, the right system, I could just see a lot of pro level stuff coming out. Because even like Adobe Premiere Pro has it where it's creating like 2 seconds of video, like creating it from nothing. Like
There's a lot of apps now out there, though. There's a lot of apps in the studio doing it. The studio is already doing it. They're already like light years ahead of what they're giving to us.
That's what I'm saying. Like, on the consumer level, this is what we have.
Yeah,
so I can only imagine what they're having on the pro level.
It's bananas. I sat there and watched them do it, and I felt like I was going to break it, even though they're just typing. But it's the money that was in it, because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is not ChatGPT money. I'm already funny about the $200. What do you mean this is? What do you mean this is? $3,000. Oh yeah, you just go in here and
So the days of when people can have an idea, have it scripted, and then have it produced into a film on a budget that's way under movie studio's budget is around the corner, is what you're saying.
I mean, that's what Tyler Perry did. Remember, guys, he shut down the whole crew and did everything off AI.
Oh, right.
He did everything off AI.
Just with us right here, I think we could make a Tubi movie right
Yo,
now.
I was just thinking that the other day.
Yeah.
I turned on the TV the other day, and let me tell you what the movie said. The movie said, I got gaslit by my husband. Okay. I just all said, okay, I'm going to tell you that. I turned it on to watch it. I'm just going to say the writing was good, but they had like little AI stuff in it. You could tell. I'm telling you, just go ahead and do it.
I think the first level
Jim.
is going to be some of the like the attention getter, like just a quick, I'm gonna steal your 5 seconds right here. I think it's gonna be a lot of short stories first, a lot of like very quick clips. Like, I mean, right now you can already do ads. Like there are already official ads out there that you like seen on a Super Bowl. So think about that budget. Like we already know Super Bowl commercial could cost, $5 million, right? Think about if they can shave half of that off making an AI picture, or you still charge the same amount, so either the creator's getting more money or whatever that is, but you can see the value in it. Long-term movies, it's going to be a hard sell because it's hard to keep that consistency. Even with the high-end stuff, it's hard to keep the consistency throughout, but you could like plug in a lot of clips. You could create like different scenes so you don't like have to go on set. Like you could create like an overseas scenery for a specific scene that you could like plug in. So I don't think like AI itself is going to be on the big screens, like where a pure AI production is almost like, CGI on steroids at this point, because it's like when you add that plus CGI and put it all together, we're gonna see a lot of I think we're gonna see a lot of cool stuff, like with the people who have the money,
Yeah.
like the Disney, the Warner Brothers, like
A lot of
utilize
plugins.
AI they're gonna take it to the next level. But I think this creates another opportunity for low level, like inspirational creators to make films of their own. That's why I said I think in this group we could make a Tubi movie and actually do it,
Yep. I know that I dropped in my stories this week. Our last guest, Kim Offord, she dropped a film competition coming up next month. So it's happening in real time, like as we speak. And I know that one of my friends from over on Fanbase, Ricky Heath, had a couple of clips in his most recent film that he submitted to, I think it was the Italy Film Festival, and he was one of two American films that had best film at the film festival, and he had some clips in there. So it's happening in real time. I'll mirror what Uriah said. I really think that it presents an opportunity for a lot of smaller creators to really hone and refine their crafts and get into this industry with very little startup capital, honestly. So when it comes to the finance side of it, if you're trying to finance I'll use a random budget, let's say a $5 million film, if you can cut that to 2.5, it's likely to get greenlit a lot faster because you don't need as much capital. I think that time is this year. I don't know that we go into 2026 without that shift actively happening.
They're doing a lot of animation, a lot of different type of things now that I was researching. Like for example, they had that movie on HBO. I mean, excuse me, my bad, Max. And it's called Flow. And some of the scenes in it, they used a little bit of AI, but the rest of it was all handmade. I mean, hand drawn. But even some of the shows that are coming out now, they're doing more like clippets and snippets. And if you work with AI, you can kind of see it. And I remember that commercial I sent you, the Lacombe one, or how it was pronounced. You can tell clippets in that. I mean, there's some people who use it and they're not comfortable with saying it yet. Because of what it can bring to the forefront. Because of what it can bring to the forefront. Like, and we already know, a lot of people in the industry don't want to talk about that.
I sent in the group chat the video from La Russell and Wiz Khalifa just this week. That whole entire video, you can tell it's AI. Like the whole video. Now, shout out to them. They did a really good job. It's hard to do people of color in that capacity at that level. So shout out to them. But it's like, they're already
we can tell it's AI, but the average person can't.
Mm-mm.
They just think that's just another level of CGI. Because I mean, right now, what we see on TV, anything can happen, right?
Mhm.
So if you throw something in there, even if it's a slight mistake, most people aren't going to catch it. If you're not looking for a mistake, you're probably not going to see the mistake.
And the way
Mhm.
the economy is affecting things, a lot of people are trying to find short, quick, and what James said earlier, we're in an instant gratification, instant. We need it right now. Society, you know, a lot of us
Microwave.
we're not doing a lot of the legwork.
Mhm.
But then with a tool like this, everybody needs to learn responsibly. I keep saying that.
And most people are like multitasking while they're watching something anyway, right?
Wow.
So you don't even
Did
have
you just
somebody's
call?
full
Did you just say
attention.
my name? I heard Adam. I heard Adam. I heard
Jen.
Adam. If I don't have something going on, I'm like, what?
I'm
This is
guilty
like
too.
when we started the show, when we started in the pre-show, and I was so quiet because everything is off, and I'm focused.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
had to change the way I did a couple of things because it started to mess with my ability to focus. It's not just that
Mhm.
I wasn't focusing when I'm watching some trash television or something that's mindless, but when I needed to focus, I needed a distraction. And that's when I had to pull
Mhm.
back and say, all right, let me start taking even my television watching time a little bit more seriously. Like I used to sit with my laptop in my lap and my phone next to me and watch it. Like I don't do that anymore because it just stopped me from being able to focus when I needed to. So, but but to your point, for you all as creatives, how do you manage to make things keep people's attention span when you're creating something? I mean, if you're creating something of a longer form, like I guess longer form now is relative, right? So like anything over 5 minutes. But if you're trying to keep somebody's attention span, do you have to do uh, throw extra drama or extra things into it? I'm not exactly sure on the types of things that you all are creating, but it was just a question that popped into my head when we are speaking about the attention
Can I
span thing.
answer? Can I answer
Sure.
y'all?
Yep.
So
Go
I
ahead.
love the creativity part. You all know that. But and I went to school for art. But the thing about it is, I love it because now I get to explore all levels of art. And then the thing I love about AI, you can actually make up your own art style. This is what I mean. Now that all these different upgrades have happened. So I don't like to put any drama in the things that I create, but I do like to put different styles and I do like to mix them and mesh them and um and get to the point where I refine it. And or to go once a new version comes out, I'll go back to my old one and see if I can even get it even more. And then a lot of the art style comes from the European part and a lot of the underground Asian called the underground part of Asia, and they have great art styles, phenomenal art styles. But then when you take that and you mix it with a different type of art style, what? It's just mind blowing. I'm sorry. I just got excited. Yeah, just mind blowing because that's the way to pull people in is something from before. I remember when Lewis introduced me to the anthropomorphic and I was able to take it and then merge it with psychedelic and then merge that with Victorian. It's just different type of things that you can do to the point now where I have it with one word. And with Midjourney, you now can create these mood boards that you can mix and max what you were doing. So my style is completely different. I love that. AI can take it to a whole nother level.
Nice.
I mirror
I
that
keep it.
sentiment. I know
Mhm.
early on, I ended up getting my own style in Midjourney. So I often will prompt in the style of Martial Artistry, which is our company. And because I've kind of tailored my prompts in a very specific way, Midjourney will prompt in my art style. Pre me using a personalized code, like I would just prompt in the style of martial artistry because I just kept prompting a very specific way. So I think that the freedom to be able to create what you would like to create, regardless of genre or demographic, I think that ability is very key. And that's kind of what really the premise of the show started out being was I just learned to talk to Midjourney a very specific way. You said early on, James, hey, the words are important. And that really mirrors my sentiment. That's really why I started this show. I learned how to talk to Midjourney. It's not the same way that I talk to Chat. It's not the same way I talk to Leonardo. It's very specific, a language that it only understands words formatted in a very specific way. It's not really a conversation like, hey, how you doing? It's more of a command, hey, structure it this way. If you put good input in, it will give good output out. I also want to shout out my boy Sammy Dub over on the Watch Party. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He's talking about OpenAI's Super Bowl commercial. They used zero AI, 8 million for the spot, and spent 14 million on the commercial. 100% human made. Crazy, right? So it's like, hey, they spent more than on making said piece of content than what the content slot was to just distribute it, which is bonkers. So if you just think about that, they almost spent $20 million, a little over, on one commercial.
That's the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. I wonder what the return on ad spend is on that. Just sidebar.
I'm sure it was worth it.
It gotta be, right?
Right.
It gotta be. Like, I mean, they do the entertainers, the performers do it for free, right? That's
Yeah,
the ultimate marketing campaign. You're getting all the eyeballs in America. Every eyeball in America is gonna see it. So globally, yeah. But I mean, in America, it's everybody. You know, it's safe to say everybody is seeing it. So they're gonna pay the money for it.
Yeah. Other entrepreneurs have to adopt that same mentality with regard to social media. And that viral moment, that's your Super Bowl commercial, if you will. That's your opportunity to be in front of all of those eyeballs. So now what do you do with it? Do you get paid on the front end for it? Or do you use the exposure so that you have permanent exposure? It all just kind of depends on how people use it. And so, like, I talk to my social media chat every single day, like every day. I talk to my marketing chat every day. I talk to my finance chat every day. They've just become a normal part of life so that I can become more informed and be more efficient with how I do what I do. So learning how to talk to these systems, like to circle back to James's point, that's critical. The words are important. That should be the title. I think that's going to be the title on the YouTube side. The words are important.
James, I have a question.
Sure.
How often do you use, I know that we use our chat, we use our Midjourney and different apps constantly, our AI apps constantly. How often do you use your chat or other AI apps that you have? How often do you use them throughout the day?
I would say daily. It would be rare for a day that I don't use it.
Because a busy day, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I wonder what that looks like.
So is it like has it become your assistant basically? Like all of us, I think we were talking about this a couple of episodes back, right? About chat
Mhm.
being your assistant, and then what we would pay and things of that nature. So do you use it like that? Like, do you see what I'm
I
saying?
use it more as a knowledge assistant. Like if there's, oftentimes you'll come across, let's say, news stories or items with something that you're unfamiliar with,
Mm-hmm.
or you have a general idea of how it works, but you really want to dig into the details of how it works. And that's something that you can go to where you can get all the information that you're looking for so that you can really understand how this current event is affecting things.
Mm.
So, and every day you come across something, or at least I come across something every day that there's something where I could stand to understand that a little bit better. And so that's when I take a little bit of time to just dig into something.
That was me this morning, pre-show. Before I text everybody in the group chat, I was like, hey, tell me more about quantitative investing and what I mean. Is this something that I'm already doing and just don't know the terminology? Break this down on a 5th grade reading level so I get it, like I actually understand it.
That's
That makes this conversation easier.
I think we all
That's
did that. I think I did
exactly
that.
how you want to do it, because a lot of people will just hear things and they'll let it pass by. Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. I get it. When they really don't. Like, and you've got this tool available to you that there are no stupid questions with AI. Like you can ask it.
Say that again. Say that again. Come on.
Rewind.
Come on, James from Florida. Say that again.
Hey, we still want to say James from Chicago. I'm still.
Oh, James from Chicago.
Down in the building.
But no, you can ask it the dumbest, like the most simple question, and it's not going to judge you. You don't know, and there's no reason not to use it. It's just like, a few years ago when people would ask questions that they could easily Google. Just Google it. Well, now if you don't understand something, just ChatGPT it, or whatever your preferred method of learning things is. But we've got too much information on our hands to not fully understand things.
Exactly. Nobody can tell me they don't know. Somebody can literally not tell me, well, I don't know how to, I don't know where to find it at. What are you talking about? What do you mean you don't know where to find it at? I mean, in chat will even give you like a free, they still do that, right? Because I don't know. They give you like a free thing. Yeah. You can go to chat. Come on. I tell chat sometimes even if I really can't really understand, I'm like, I'm in elementary school. Please break this down for me. I'm in no grade. I'm in no grade. And then once I get it and I explain it back to you, you need to tell me if this is right.
And, like to wrap back around on something, I was trying to come up with data sources off the top of my head. That's an easy one for anybody who's listening to this. If you go to a large language model or chat or whatever, just ask, what are some resources available that have financial data for free? It will come up with a list of websites. Like anything that you're looking to learn, it's a great starting point.
I love that. I love that.
So which tier chat do you have, James?
Oh, I wasn't going to ask that. I thought that was too easy. You hit spring. You could ask in my head when I asked you that first question. In my mind, what really wanted to come out. Oh, you're right.
That's why I got it on my way.
I cannot. I'm gonna go ahead and put your finger on it.
No,
I cannot stand you, Uriah. I was literally wanting to ask him that, and I was like, "This is too invasive." I thought it was too personal.
I'm on the $20 monthly plan.
Yeah, my God.
Yes. Come on. Ask Uriah what plan he on, James.
What you got going on over there, Uriah?
As he takes a sip out his gold cup.
I mean, I got the pro.
Respect.
Ain't no respect.
How's it working?
Take it out.
It's good.
Let's get our update. Because we're 2 months
Yeah,
now,
let's get
right?
an update. Yeah, let's get an update because I got some
Yeah.
updates. Go
This
ahead.
is it's good because a lot of the annoyances that we just mentioned of chat, the pro level, the 1.0 is eliminating a lot of that. It makes it does its own deductions, so it second guesses itself versus, and it even has a like a side chat that you can see its rationale going down. So it's like
that's nice.
oh, he said this, but I don't know that. I'm gonna assume this, but wait, I'm gonna assume that. So you can see its rationale is like is actually doing thinking now. So we're
That's
at the next
funny.
level. So I don't have to prime it every time. Like it usually takes almost a week to prime a chat the way you want it. And if you're just doing a task, it usually takes at least 3 iterations minimum to get it to where you want it. Because like if you know what you want, you give it to it and it'll spit something back. Let's say it's 5 paragraphs. You read one of those paragraphs, it's a complete farce. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't send that out. So you have to change that. So you have to talk like, no, I don't want that. And then you see the assumptions that it made. Like, okay, no, you have to fix its assumptions. Where on the pro level, it's not doing that anymore. Like, it gives you a solid product on the front end. It's rare that I have to like reprompt it. And I love like that time save is bananas.
He's addicted to the sauce, y'all. He addicted to the sauce. He addicted to the sauce, y'all.
No,
he's like, I got
Yeah,
that good shit, so I'm gonna keep it.
It's
Yeah,
funny
you gotta
you
give
said that
James
because that's
content.
one of that one of the things that I always do in my prompts is tell it if there's anything that you don't understand or if you need further information, please ask first and then proceed with whatever I'm asking it to do. So like the fact that it does it on its own is actually dope.
Yeah, it's doing
It's
it on its
it's
own.
okay. It's a little dope. The $20, $20 is like the internet could. So first off, let me just look in my head. I want to check you, but I really can't check you. So this is what I'm gonna say. What I have noticed is that with the $20, come on, guys. I need you guys to be the hype man, okay? So it does think for us now. Like, I mean, not think for us. It does do that little thinking part. Like, because I thought something was wrong with my chat. I watched it repeat back everything I said, and then I got mad. You know why I got mad, y'all? I said, if it's giving me this, what is it giving Pro? What is it giving it?
Yeah, that's funny.
Because because did you see it? I mean, have you seen it do it? Have y'all seen it do it yet? Where when you get out, it will, what Uriah just said, it spits out all these different things. And I'm like, what's going on? Did something happen? And I actually went back to make sure I didn't.
Push the button.
I actually went back to see if I didn't press $200. I went back to check. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't press it, did I? But yeah, so if it's
These are
giving
pro,
$20, if it's giving us $20 like that, I wonder what your upgrade is. And I really don't want to hear about it. I do.
I'm a big.
So I mean, with the pro, you get the stronger ChatGPT model, but you also get Sora, which is the AI video generator. So with Plus, you get 1,000 credits, and then you're pretty much just out. I don't think you could do anything else. But with the Pro, you get 10,000 credits, but then you get unlimited relax credits. So from my perspective, it's worth it because I've eliminated my Kling subscription account, which I was spending at least $100 on, and maybe even more when I was running out of credits and re-upping buying new packets. Now I got 200. I got the best ChatGPT model. I don't have a Kling subscription, and I got unlimited video creation. So to me, it's worth it. From the ChatGPT Pro model itself, I think it's worth it. Like what Adama was saying with the assistant, I use it as my assistant. Like it writes memos for me. It writes emails that I don't want to write. It writes communications. Like I'm on a council. It helps me de-escalate a lot of, I'm a businessman. So once I got on the council, I got to deal with the public. And I'm not fully used to dealing with the public where you can't answer them as harshly as you do from the business perspective, right?
You write what you
So
feel and then say, hey, can you tone this down a little bit?
Yeah,
I was like,
that.
hey, I'm a councilman, right? So help me communicate this the best way possible, being fully empathetic, but also being stern in my position. Because that sounds different from Auditor Uriah, right? And that's the only Uriah I know at this point versus Councilman Uriah, where I have to be for the people. So I'm like, help me bridge that gap? So it helps me with that. So I write it up and then I put it in that, and it kind of changes the wording a little bit. So then it actually makes me a little bit better, even on Auditor Uriah's side, because it's like, oh, when you position it like this, like passive voice versus what is it, aggressive voice, like the positioning of your wording and how you say it makes all the difference. So all that stuff we learned in English class back in high school and college, like actually putting it into play is a different story. But using my chat, that's how I use it. And I mean, how much would that cost? That's a writing coach. How much would you pay a writing coach?
They just need to hire you to do a commercial for them, yo, because you just be.
No, just hold that.
He's like, I got rid of my cling. I got I got a writing assistant, communicator.
Okay.
And
I
don't have to give her a name.
Yeah, so we got a question that came in from the YouTube side. Do you prefer, or which do you gravitate towards between Gemini and ChatGPT? I think that's a very good question.
I guess the first question would be, who on here has experience with Gemini?
I do.
I don't.
I don't.
Lewis.
Uriah?
It's on you.
It's on you, Lewis. We said we don't.
All right. So I personally gravitate towards ChatGPT, but it's not a lack of functionality or capability. It's just that became my norm. While I'm transitioning and working through a lot of the different programs, I just find what works for me in the overall process. So I'll give context. So last week on Tuesday, one of my chat strings just became full, like completely full. And it was like, hey, it's a wrap, it's over. And because it's my video prompt chat to help me script, I can't do without that. So Uriah just got done saying it takes you about a week to train a new chat. I didn't have a week to wait to retrain my chat. So because I do a lot of talking back and forth with my other chat strings, there are some things that carry over that have been saved in the memory, and I don't have to repeat that part of the process. So when I say, hey, give me the instructions to retrain a brand new chat with everything that I've told you over the last 6 months, and put it in a document so that I can just drop it in, copy and paste, so that it's just ready to go. So it fast-tracked my training time from a week down to maybe about a day or so. Okay, got you. Thank you. So that has been something for me that's just been helpful. I got used to ChatGPT. My experience with Gemini is more when I'm looking to do research, I think it has more accurate information with less hallucinations when I'm doing my research. When I do the fact checking, I'm finding less mistakes or more context to what I'm asking when I'm in Gemini. I hope that kind of makes sense. No knock at either platform. Shout out to them both. We definitely do need we need a commercial spot. So definitely reach out. But yeah, I gravitate towards chat just because it's easier for me. And I want to kind of just redirect this real quick because, James, I know that we are going a little longer than we normally do when we have a guest, but I want to ask you one quick question. For someone who's looking to enter the world of quantitative investing or startups without a traditional background, what's one skill or mindset shift that they should develop first to start them along that journey? I think that's important for the audience.
Ooh.
I know that's a tough one.
Mindset shift. A mindset shift that I'll share that I've come across a couple of times about entrepreneurship is that be prepared to do the hard stuff, the stuff that you at any other job would hate doing and would kind of half-ass. That's all on you. So the mindset of I don't want to work for anybody else, or I just want to do my own thing. Like that's understand what that comes with, because it's not you don't want to do what somebody else tells you, but now you have to be the one telling yourself to do those same things.
I love that. Yeah, that's
You got
really
to do the
good.
hard stuff.
That was perfect.
That was good.
Mic drop. Okay. That was really good. I like that. You guys got anything else for Mr. James? I know that he's got to run, so I don't want to hold him up. I definitely do appreciate your time. This has been a great conversation.
I
Thank
appreciate you all
You're
having me on
awesome.
here. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful discussion.
This was
Awesome.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So James, something that I've started to do when we get to the end of our show is ask our guest, hey, in about 6 months, would you be interested in coming back and doing a follow-up so we can see kind of where is the world of AI and finance?
Absolutely. I know I didn't give much of a 6-month prediction, but I would love to come back in 6 months and just marvel over the direction things have taken in the AI and finance space.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Normally, this is kind of where we shout everybody out if they have something that they'd like to talk about, promote. Is there anything that you would like to take this opportunity to say?
Oh, no, I just thank you all for having me on here. I'm not really shouting out anybody, but I do appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk with you guys about, and learn from you guys about what you all are doing and kind of share what's going on with me and my experiences in AI. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. This is awesome.
I'm going to reach out on the back end. I know I want to have a conversation on the back end about finances that maybe we can have off camera.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm completely available. You've got my contact, so for sure.
My guy. Adama, where can the people reach you at?
Oh, I was waiting for y'all to go. Okay, you can reach me on Linktree. You can reach me on Linktree. Also, you can find my page. I'm on Lemmy Leon on Facebook. But Linktree has all my information on there, and I'm expanding myself out. So feel free to drop me a line, and we can converse. And I want to say I appreciate everyone who's been asking me questions, and we've been talking. I'm here for you. Thank you.
Uriah?
I'm Uriah. You can find me right here on Facebook if you're here under my name. I'm on Instagram at Uriah at profit.productions.ai. You can go to my landing page on Link app where you can pretty much see everything about me. It'll take you to all my social sites, and it tells you all the services I offer and to contact me directly.
Me? My name is Louis Marshall. I'm here at Marshall Artistry on all platforms, as well as now you can find us at Leadership Lounge Official on YouTube as well. If you're on Fanbase, you can find us in the AI Anonymous camp. And if you're on Facebook, you can find us in the Unleashed AI Creativity camp. Those are the places where you can find us. Definitely tap in. We're always looking to help and to be a resource in the AI community. We do this show, Leadership Lounge Live, every Sunday at 6 p.m. If you're still on the live, definitely take a moment, hit that like button. That's something that's going to really help us as we go forward with the algorithm so that we can be seen and distributed a little more so that other people can meet individuals like James and like Kim and like Victor and like Shanna from past episodes. This is going to be really important for us. If you can, share this out with a friend. Other than that, we will see you guys next Sunday where we may have another special guest. So stay tuned. I wish you guys all an amazing, happy Sunday. And we'll see you guys again soon. Holla.